small training session for your brain. What do you think? In today's video, we have a few tricky questions with unpredictable answers for you. To solve them, you'll have to think really hard, like for real. As always, at the end of each puzzle, we will give you time to think and then reveal the answer. And if you need a little more time, just put the video on pause. Ready? Then let's get it on. Two absolutely healthy people of Tana, and the same age, and with the same physical strength, were in different parts of the globe on the same day. One of them was in Antarctica, near the South Pole. The other was in the middle of the Sahara Desert in the sun. They don't have the opportunity to hide in any building, or at least somehow protect themselves from the extreme conditions. Does any of them have a chance to survive and wait for help if it comes to both of them at the same time? You might think you can't run away from heat, and that cold is much easier to survive in, but in reality, everything is a little different. Scientists have found out that being in extreme cold is much more harmful to a person than being in the heat. According to their calculations, irreversible consequences, and even death from frost, occur 17 times more often than from severe heat. If the human body cools down to 30 degrees Celsius, it will end sadly, and in the South Pole, that's not difficult at all. Simply put, a man in the desert will most likely be able to wait for help. But the poor fellow in Antarctica is not that lucky. There are doors to two different rooms in front of you. You know for sure that in both, there's a poisonous vapor, which, after getting into it, your lungs will immediately kill you. In room number 1, the steam is hot, and in room number 2, it's cold. And in both rooms are getting filled constantly with gas. So which door will be safer to open? Well, friends, in order to solve this riddle, you're going to need the most basic knowledge of physics. As you know, hot air always rises, and cold, on the contrary, is closer to the floor. Accordingly, this rule works also in our case. So choose a room with a cold steam and, perhaps, you will survive. Clouds are huge, but seem weightless. Whales are heavy and huge. But which of them, in fact, weighs more, a whale or a cloud? The blue whale is the largest existing animal, and its weight can reach 150 tons. But no matter how incredible it may sound, a cloud is still heavier. According to studies conducted by scientists in the state of Colorado, one cirrus cloud, consisting, like any other cloud, from billions of tiny drops, can weigh about 800 tons. Of course, these are approximate results, because it is possible to weigh clouds only, theoretically, but it is still several times heavier than the heaviest whale. After a very heavy snowfall, the whole city was literally covered with snowdrifts. Who do you think will fall more quickly under the snow when stepping on it? A bodybuilder coming from a training session? And yours individual? Oh. a trainer, or a professional model wearing high-heeled boots, and despite the fact that the weight of an athlete is likely to exceed the weight of the model by more than 2 times, she will fall more quickly in the snow. The thing is that the distribution of the person's weight relative to the area of his soul plays a big role. Because of the heels, the area of the soles of the girl is smaller, which means that the pressure on the fresher snow will be stronger. By the way, this is why people invented snowshoes and skis, to make it easier to move around in winter. If there were weightlifting competitions among animals, who would win, an elephant or an ant? Think it through, friends, but without Googling. Elephants are the largest land animals today. Male elephants can grow up to 4 meters and weigh as much as 10 tons, which is quite a lot. And although this animal is obviously one of the heaviest on Earth, elephants are able to raise no more than 20 to 25% of their weight. At the same time, tiny ants hardly weigh 10 grams, easily lift objects 50 times heavier than themselves. By the way, this is far from a record. It is believed that the rhinoceros beetle can lift up 850 times its weight. So it seems victory is on the side of insects. In an unusual 5-story house in a large city, there is an elevator. On the first floor of this building live 2 persons. On the second, 4 persons. On the third, 8. On the fourth, 16. And on the 5th, 32. All tenants have an active lifestyle and often go out to work, visit their friends, or just take a walk. Attention to the question: which button in the elevator is pressed more often than others? Well, honestly, this is not just a test for logic, but a tricky question. Despite the fact that most people live on the 5th floor, people press most often the button with the number 1 button. After all, the residents of the house need to get to the 1st floor to go outside, and hardly anyone will use the fire escape. For this, well, for dessert, we have a more complicated task for you. If the rest of the questions were too easy for you, now you will have to think a little more. So, on the scales, there are 2 identical vessels with water. In one of them, there's a ping pong ball tied to the bottom with a thread. In the other, a steel ball that hangs in the water, also fixed with a thread on the outside. The diameters of the balls and the volume of the liquid in the vessels are equal. Where will the scales lean?
Big love for watching all the way. If you laughed, nodded, or even blinked, hit subscribe, share this with a friend, and comment your wildest thought. Let's make the comment section a party.